Hello dear colleagues, I'm happy to present you our webinar that is dedicated to adhesive system and its clinical application, and I'm very happy to systematize information about main bonding groups and to give you clinical guides for your daily practice. So I will do some theoretical block, and then I will do a clinical demonstration, and you will see step by step how do we use total edge adhesive systems and how do we use self-adhesive bonding systems in our practice. So let's go. I don't know why, but still we have a lot of misunderstanding about generations of bonding systems and the proper utilization of the bonding systems. But what we have to understand and what we have to know is that we have two main groups of adhesive systems nowadays. We have the group of total edge adhesive system, and we have also the group of selective or self-edge adhesive system. We do also have so-called universal systems that can be used as total edge or selective edge or self-edge bondings. But if we discuss classic, we have total edge and we have self-edge. Total edge has also two groups. The group one, the force generation, when you have primer as the separate bottle and you have adhesive as separate bottle. Adhesive systems number 5 or 5th generation is one bottle system when you have, for example, when you have primer and adhesive in one bottle. You can see on that slide that OptiBond FL, for example, that is considered to be golden standard in bonding systems, is force generation. Primer separately and bonding separately. And then you have, for example, single bond or Scotch Bond 2 by 3M or similar products by other companies. One bottle, primer and bonding in one piece, in one bottle. Then we have self-edge adhesive systems. These self-edge adhesive systems, they do also have two groups. Classic group, 6th generation, when you have separately acid primer and you have adhesive as the separate bottle. And then you have one bottle system which includes acid primer and adhesive. Okay? And this is so-called universal adhesive systems that can be utilized as total edge and as self-edge adhesive systems. Now let's go more deeper into evaluation and understanding of that adhesive systems. We will start with 3 steps: classic, total edge, force generation adhesive systems when you have separate primer and separate adhesive. Okay, so it is the benefits of this adhesive system is that they are well known. They are available on the market for a long time, and you have a lot of research and papers that show long-term clinical trials and results by means of that adhesive systems. They provide very high level of bonding to enamel and to dentin. Okay, and the long-term stability of these adhesive systems come from hydrophobic interface, because you have separate adhesive which is completely hydrophobic. Okay, and it gives you very nice and long-lasting hybrid layer. The disadvantage of that adhesive systems is multi-bottle. Okay, you have a lot of steps to provide, but you know, when you have everything in one bottle, that means that all chemical ingredients are in one bottle. In that 2-bottle systems, you have separate primer, which is hydrophilic monomer with solvent inside like ethanol or acetone, and you have separate hydrophobic monomers. Okay, but just imagine if you have everything in one bottle. It's easier to implement, but from the chemical point of view, there are questions: how can they live together, these substrates? Bonding systems, fourth generation, are very technical sensitive. You have to follow instruction, you have to follow all the protocols, and you have to complete every single step in very proper way. Okay. Another thing is that total etch adhesive systems, they are so-called sensitive to MMP that has to be inhibited with chlorhexidine. Later on I will give you some brief information regarding chlorhexidine and MMP inhibition, but now let us just take it into consideration. One thing that I didn't mention is that I will give you now universal protocols for each of these adhesive systems, but to be able to implement this protocol correctly, you have to read the instruction to your bonding system, because your bonding system may have some variations and may be slightly different from the classic adhesive protocol. But the core idea of adhesive protocols that I'm going to share with you is universal and same. And I didn't mention at the very beginning that this webinar is about adhesive preparation of tooth structures like enamel and dentin, and these protocols can be used for direct composite restorations, for example, or these protocols can be used to prepare enamel and dentin for bonding of indirect restorations. If you want to know more about bonding protocols and clinical steps of cementation or luting of indirect restorations like zirconia crowns or ceramic overlays or onlays, I would invite you to our online masterclass that is dedicated to bonding of indirect restoration, and then we will discuss all cement systems that we have nowadays, like self-cure, light cure, universal, dual cure. We will discuss primers that help you to provide proper bonding to ceramic or to zirconia, and I will show you step by step cementation procedures of crowns and overlays with different types of cements live. Okay, so you can join our online masterclass and you will have a lot of information that you will be able to implement and to use straight after that online masterclass in your clinical practice, and your life will become easier. Okay, so let's go to protocol. How do we use Total Etch Classic 4th generation adhesive system? First, we have to etch enamel. The regular timing of enamel etching is about 30 seconds. Okay, we have to etch enamel further margins, just 1-2 millimeters more than your margins are. Then we etch dentin for 15 seconds. 15 seconds is absolute maximum. If you will etch longer than 15 seconds, you will over etch dentin, and then you will get all these problems as postoperative sensitivity. So you have to be very careful when you etch dentin. Then we have to rinse everything with water. We have to rinse thoroughly to remove all drops and molecules of etching agent. Then we have to dry, okay, and this is very specific step of bonding preparation. You have to have dry enamel and to have wet dentin. But the problem is that still nowadays we don't know how wet is wet. So what I'm going to share with you is how do we provide clinically the procedure to get dentin wet enough, let's say, okay, to get good results. Then afterwards we have to apply primer, and primer has to be applied very actively. So you put your primer with micro brush, and about 20 seconds you make so-called massage in dentin, and then you dry, okay, and then you dry about 5-10 seconds. Here we have 3-5, it's not enough to be honest, so we dry it more than 5 seconds. So we dry, we evaporate solvent that is in primer, and then we apply bonding, the second bottle. Okay, we apply to enamel and to dentine. We wait for 20-30 seconds and then we light cure. Okay, so you apply, you wait, and then you light cure. But before light curing, we have to get thin layer of our bonding on enamel and thick layer on dentine. And I will show you today how do we achieve that conditions. So that is the information about fourth generation. The fifth generation of adhesive system is when you have everything in one bottle. Okay, so the procedure of implementation or utilization of that one bottle total edge adhesive system is the same, but despite the fact that everything is in one bottle, you still have to go for two steps of application. You etch enamel, you etch dentine, you rinse, you dry, you get this wet dentine and dry enamel, then you apply one layer of your